Thomann with G.
G.
That last little melody goes out to all my Hungarian friends. They'll recognize it.
Easter eggs on live streams now. Hello, everybody.
Hey everyone.
My name is Guillaume.
Indeed, that's his name.
And his name is?
I'm pretty sure Kris, I've been told.
Welcome.
Yeah, this is a live stream, no wonder. What a surprise, you just clicked on it.
Yet another edition of our live shenanigans. Welcome to Thoman's Guitars and Basses on today's menu. Different things.
Oh, totally, yeah. This is new for us.
Yeah, something we've never done before. You're used to our weather report and bluesy jams in A. However, today we're trying something new. It is an AMA, Ask Us Anything, technically. So we were on Reddit. It's something we do now. We're Redditors. And
I read it.
Oh, jeez. See, that's is the way it is. So we asked the good people of Reddit to ask us anything. So about our job, about the company, about apparently some of you guys in the chat are more interested in our paychecks than anything else. But, so yeah, we'll just take all the answers, all the questions. Sorry, in the Reddit, the subreddit, and we'll answer them to the best of our ability.
Yeah. We have to. You have to be fast because there's like over 100.
There's a lot. There are many questions.
Some are replies, like replies to questions. So
upvotes.
Maybe a little under 106, but a lot of questions. So,
we might not start with the most upvoted to keep some of you guys on your toes a little bit.
You mean the spicy one?
There's some spicy questions.
Spicy, brave question asking all the tricky questions.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Sure. We're gonna start with something like. Oh, that's your stage.
Careful with the corners. I have hot corners.
Your stage is completely different from mine, and so it's very scary.
Sorry.
And we'll take some questions from the chat in the meantime to sprinkle some of that. However, the first question that we're gonna address on Reddit was: if you pour equal amounts of coffee into 2 cups and add milk to the other cup, filling it to the brim, does the cup with added milk have more coffee in it than the one without the milk? There's something about the cups there.
Straight to the point. No messing around, no fooling around. You know, relevant guitar questions.
I'm just gonna say that.
No, there's not more coffee. There's more fun in the mug with milk in it, but
I don't
not
know.
More coffee.
We don't put milk in coffee around here. A bit of the German humor, yeah?
Yeah. By the way, if you want to see those answers of ours popping up, you can just click on the Reddit link. I've posted it as a community post. And you'll also find it in the description box. Right now in this live stream, if you open up the more info or whatever it's called field, you'll find the link in there and you can just see the answers popping up. And you can also read out a couple of questions on Reddit in case you're interested in them. Okay, fair enough.
There's people adding their own take on the questions in the chat, which I absolutely love. This is a serious question.
Yes,
it absolutely is. Yeah. I'm not good at math.
Quicksilver says, isn't that a volume question? Ask Archimedes.
Through a Ouija board. Yeah. It's not that kind of channel. This is we're going to do that on Patreon later.
Yeah.
Question number 2. If Gandalf had not died fighting the Balrog in the mines of Moria, would he still have become Gandalf the White, signifying the head of his order?
I think you're the residential.
I'll take the lead on this one.
Yeah, he's the Lord
I feel like
of the Rings.
If anyone... Okay, I'm going to have to type that at the same time.
Yeah, go for it.
No expert, but I think if anyone were to know that would be Tolkien himself. Maybe Tom Bombadil as well, depending on where you sit on that one. I'm gonna chime in on this by saying that he did get the extra XP from that kill, but if we're gonna take into consideration then the quest of the ring is the most important of the Third Age, and that neither one of the Blue Wizards or Radagast had anything to do with it, anything significant to do with the quest itself, and that Saruman would have fell in equal in ways to what happened in that
books,
timeline, right? I think Gandalf would have by default.
Because I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, sorry. Good to hear this morning. Armonger, is this jam based on a true story? Says Steve Cassidy Guitar. Yeah, totally. That is actually the first time we see each other live since the summit, Guitar Summit, isn't it?
That's true.
I think so, yeah. So this was our, hey buddy, I missed you. It's so nice to see you again, folk jam in C, kind of, but ending at a G, because you got to end on a G. And also I've seen a question, how did the Guitar Summit go as Badlander? It was amazing, man. It was, or girl, I'm not sure, could be both. Totally awesome place. Like if you can go to Mannheim next year in September, late September that is, the Guitar Summit is just the coolest hang. It's chilled. It's a lot of people there, like a lot of people. Beautiful location, really cool brands. You can actually talk to people because you hear each other, unlike at the NAMM show, which is much more of a party. And the Guitar Summit is just a really good hang. Good talks, fun people. If you were one of those who said hi to us and we had a short chat and maybe took a picture, thank you for approaching us. It's so amazing to see some of you in real, like, you know, comment sections and stuff. That's awesome. But if we get to like meet you in person, that is just the nicest moment. So thank you in case you've been there and said hi to us. So it's Europe's NAMM, meaning Guitar Summit. Yeah, totally. I mean, there was a huge expo, like convention in Frankfurt for decades. That's been the Frankfurt Messe, which was huge, like probably as big or almost as big as the NAMM show, and that has become less and less of an instrument and guitar event over the years, and now it's not existing anymore. They only do like professional audio equipment stuff and light and stuff, but that was a thing. But now it's a trade show doesn't really make a lot of sense, except for maybe the NAMM show, maybe the China guitar show, whatever. But this is a really good hang that's much more about the social aspect of it. There were also, some gear that were revealed, which was nice to see. That's, I think, the first time that someone reveals something at the summit.
Brands,
like bigger brands,
so for sure.
Like D'Angelico or J Rocket or Rev or a couple of bigger brands released stuff. And Phil X was there showing his new drive pedal, etc. So it had a trade value as well, but it was much more of a, hey, let's just meet up and try stuff. And everyone had like these headphone stations on their booths because it's a silent show. And it was just the perfect mix of guitar gear stuff and guitar talks. It's good. You should definitely check it out next year if you can make it. If it's worth the trip for you, if you can make it happen. Totally awesome. Kris, how's the album coming along? Asks Frankie Boy. Dude, I'm this close to being done. Everything is recorded except for maybe 2 guest solos. And not this guy, because this guy was fast. His guest solo is already long in the box.
I'll take the last 2 default spots, just in if you want it to happen faster, I'll take the 2 solo spots that are left, and then.
But I asked 2 other really sweet friends who I'd love to have on the album, and they're kind of busy, so I'm not sure if it's gonna happen. But they said it will, so we'll see. But whatever it is, I'm it's all good. I'm just hoping to be able to include those guest solos on the album as well. Otherwise, most songs are mixed, and then it's just gonna be being mastered, and I have to figure out how to release it. I don't wanna just not release it really. I want to print vinyls and stuff. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Come back to us.
Yes.
There's more Reddit to
Sorry,
answer
go for it.
before you
you're
release your album. 2 questions regarding the samples, back to back actually. Are the sound samples under the instruments just the same thing copy pasted? And prior question, are you in charge of recording the samples? The world needs a full album of Thomann samples.
Okay, so in case you're not aware of this, these samples are on the product pages. Like if you go on thomann.de and check out a guitar, a pedal, an amp, whatever, a saxophone, a drum, whatever it is, you'll find those audio samples. And those audio samples are what they refer to.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the first question?
Are the samples just the same thing copy pasted?
Of course. Next question. No, of course not. Like, why would Thomann do that?
Okay.
That would be terrible. No, they sound very similar. What they play sound very similar because they are reamping. So they recorded a couple of times those few licks, blues, rock, metal, jazz, funk, whatever those recordings are. They recorded those with a couple of different guitars, like a more, like a single coil guitar, a humbucker guitar, this and that, just line. And then they are reamping those recordings with all the pedals and amps and amp simulation, multi-effects, whatever stuff that will just come after it. So it is just a handful of recordings, but for each product that you check out, it's gonna be a reamped or re-recorded version of the same playing. So the only thing that's the same is the playing. Like if the blues lick sounds like he's phrasing the same way all the time, it's because it's one blues playing, but reamped for every single product. So it's the same, but it's definitely not the same, if you know what I mean.
No, but they're a unique line guitar signal that's reamped into the pedal or amp you're looking at.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Thanks. And the other one was?
And the other one was...
If we do them, or what?
The world needs a full album made of Thomann samples.
It will be the shortest album. Unless we include like every single recording of every single product, then it's going to be the longest album. Because there's like, there's a blues lick, there are like 2 rock riffs, or metal riffs, and some funk playing, pop, or whatever it's called.
I guess we start with the beginning. The first question is, are you in charge of recording the samples? We are not.
Not at all.
We are not.
But we know who are.
But we agree that a samba, jazz, rock, metal, fusion record...
Country. There's also some country playing.
Country. Fusion country record is what the world
needs.
Oh
yeah.
Okay, done.
Nice.
Next question we have. What are your thoughts on the new Fender Pano amp? Will smaller, more affordable variations become available? Will other brands take influence from it? The rider, Noodle, thinks it's a game changer and if treated properly could produce a whole new era of guitar sound and music styles. Are you in the industry as excited by it as the average player?
Normally, it's the Jack White one.
Yeah.
That's why. I was about to say, like, what are we talking about? But now I know. Okay.
I would honestly kind of need to figure out what makes it so special. The top comment on it says, I think it's a super reverb with a distortion pedal built in. Which, if it is, it's a nice departure from Fender, or even if it's not their first high gain amp by any mean. If it is that, but I'm not sure.
It can be stereo. No, it can be stereo.
It can be stereo.
Yeah, that's the thing. It switches for split and full.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And mono stereo.
Okay.
So I guess split or full means that whatever the effect is that can be stereo can be split just on one side.
Right.
Or like full,
so
affecting
a
both
single
sides.
amp that does wet dry, basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Kinda.
I mean, Pano sounds like panorama, which means that it splits stuff and you can, play with the stereo field, which would make sense. We don't know enough about the amp to know what to say.
Ultimately, that's it. We don't know enough. However, it all depends on like how easy to manufacture the technology is ultimately. Yeah. Because if you look at the making of stereo amps like Magnatone, there's a reason why more affordable at least product cannot be that. It's just too expensive to make.
Yeah.
Like the circuits.
Well, you need 2 power amps
it's just,
for starters.
It makes everything heavy. It makes everything complicated to make and more complicated to use properly.
And the most expensive components of the amp
is
you need to double them.
Yeah,
like everything that is, as far as I can tell, the transformer. What is called the truffle? Transformer, the transformer and all those parts, the power amp cues, you need to double those if you want to have a stereo product because you need 2 power amps for both sides, one. So that ultimately just makes it more expensive to produce. But yeah, I'd love to try the amp, I've got to say. I've heard about it, but I never had the chance to check it out, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to say anything to that, sorry. Let's see. Is the same with the guitar sound demos? Okay, it's a fair question about the samples on the Thomann website. No, it's not the same with the guitar demos, because if you demo a guitar, you have to play it again. So that's gonna be for them more work, because the guitar player, whoever does it, I don't know the name, sorry, has to come in and record those licks, those handful of licks again for that guitar or those guitars, because I guess they work in like select 20 guitars and then record 20 guitars at a time, so that they don't have to come back every single day for a new product that's been added to the shop.
What's the best guitar for a beginner? A butterscotch Steli, a 58 Les Paul Custom, or anything with PRS on the headset?
Beginner's guitar, yeah, sure. Is this like a serious answer?
You need a burst. Well, I don't know, but the top comment is bird and laser, the ultimate tone, unless you're a dentist. So I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. However, I will say what Kris thinks. It's a Tele, which...
honestly, if you like the shape, yeah, it's very easy to handle and sounds amazing for a lot of styles. Okay. And there's no trem, which is good. Then
let's bring a little nuance into that answer by saying...
Look at him.
In the end, it doesn't even matter. In the end, it's the guitar that makes you want to play it.
Yeah.
Whatever guitar that is.
Yes.
But it's better if it's a Tele.
With the only addition to that, don't choose a Floyd guitar as your first one.
I don't know. Some people like complexity. They like to earn it. They like to, some people like math.
Yeah, but
you just can't explain it. Some people might like a Floyd.
Everyone likes a Floyd, but it's a struggle, man. I've been teaching for enough long to see kids not being able to do anything with the guitar, restringing or tuning even. There's a learning curve to that. But yeah, ultimately, whatever makes you pick it up is the best choice, whatever anyone says.
So, I said, whatever guitar makes you want to play it until your fingers bleed. But yeah, a Tele.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
You don't... No, well, whatever. Okay, next question.
Yes.
Where do you stand on vintage gear versus modern gear? Have you ever done blind tests between vintage guitars and modern? I can't see the thing anymore.
Oh, what? Lost it.
Sorry, my bad. Wait.
You lost it.
No, okay, I'm just learning Reddit at the same time. It's confusing. So have you done blind tests between vintage guitars and modern reissues or newer models?
Oh my God! How much time do you have?
Yeah, it's such a specific case.
And scenario. So there's we could talk we could do a live stream on that, just on that.
Yeah.
Us sharing our experience and thoughts on modern reissues and actual vintage instruments. If you want to make it short, you can quote me saying I wouldn't swap my Tele for any vintage Tele. Even though I've played vintage Teles that were mind-blowing. But it's... tone is one factor, but the whole package
the whole experience,
counts. Yeah, the whole experience counts.
Some vintage instruments are just mind-blowing. Some of those are made. You kind of have to find whatever's right for you. If it's vintage, it's cool. If it's new, it's cool too.
Totally. Some of the best sounding guitars I've heard were vintage guitars. That being said, it's not always the case, and some of the, all of the best playing guitars were reissues of modern guitars. True. So there's always, two sides of that coin.
There's so much to that question, it's difficult to sum up, but to quote Kris, I wouldn't trade my Tele for a vintage Tele.
Yeah, okay.
Just because it's vintage? Should I add that?
Yeah. Okay, that's
just
because that's a bit more of a full picture, because I do adore vintage guitars, and if I had the money, I wouldn't have free floor space in my room at home, for sure, and all those would be vintage guitars. But still, I have a couple of new guitars that I would just not trade in for a vintage guitar, because they're just too perfect.
Final answer.
Yes.
There's so much to that question, it's difficult to sum up, but to quote Kris, I wouldn't trade my Tele for a vintage Tele just because it's vintage. And I agree. Some are phenomenal, some are lemons.
Yes.
All right, sent.
Awesome. That's why he's writing. I can talk too much and he can sum it all up much better.
How can you tell which guitar is better for which genre of music?
You can't. It depends on what you like.
That one's kind of easy. Just look at what people have been using in that genre of music.
Yeah, I mean, that helps.
There's usually a reason why.
Point of reference. Yeah. Just look at what people use as a point of reference and then ignore it. No, really, honestly. Because, whenever I hear someone saying like, yeah, but it's Italian, it's going to be for, country and whatever, I'm like, don't let me start this. It's not true at all. So, yeah.
Look at what people use it in that genre for reference, then ignore it and figure out how your gear can fit the bill.
Yes, perfect.
Comment. Beautiful.
Dude, we're
the top
banging
comment
them
was
out.
the top comment was Les Paul, always Les Paul.
Yeah, if you're into Les Pauls, I agree. If you're not, well,
we can all talk about that.
Just as good.
Next one. Will Thomann and Harley Benton ever design their own original bass and guitar models in addition to the replicas? If not, what's stopping them? I know the current lineup is not exactly one copy, but it would be cool to have. As a follow-up, if you were asked to design an original bass or guitar, what electronics feature design would you like to have? And lastly, where's Julia?
There's a lot of questions. Oh my God. First of all, I know a lot of big brands making very expensive, very, very nice guitars that are much closer to original traditional guitars than the Harley versions.
Yeah.
Because, this one looks very familiar, sure, and the ST as well. But then there are some, like that one, the single cuts, all the other models, the modern multi-scale ones, they are further away from like...
Of your very well constructed answers, by the way, thank you. I'm just a
too much talk
glorified typewriter. I said that the point of Harley Benton guitars and basses is to make classic versions of legendary guitars at a price that allows as many people as possible to have access to them. However, they are trying new things. They are trying new finishes, they're trying new configurations, and maybe at some point we'll get to try their own shapes. But it's not the main point of the...
No, not really. I don't think it's their main thing, but since they're pretty brave with experimenting with, little mods and stuff and finishes and everything, I don't see why they wouldn't. But it wouldn't go there. But the main thing is that since it's an affordable brand, they developed in terms of quality and looks and everything, specs, a lot over the years. But it's still, the main goal is to offer awesome quality for not a lot of money. And for that, I think most people just want to get like a nice T-shaped thing or a nice, I don't know, offset thing and just get something that looks familiar. So I don't think they'll get very far from original shapes because it's just for a different kind of player, I guess. And long story short, at least they're brave with specs and finishes and stuff, and they give us stuff that we would wish from other brands as well, and we usually don't get.
Then to the second point, I'm going to answer that Kris and I are boring and would most likely design a T and an ST type guitar.
Yes. You know what? I would design a junior style instrument with the T style electronics. Haha, that would be my weird Frankenstein.
Junior with T style electronics.
Yeah, baby. That would be probably a total fail, but I'd love to try it.
ST style with T style electronics.
Pascal writes, hello mon ami, is a 30 years old guitar vintage? It's very relative. In terms of vintage market and high prices, nah, not yet. But actually, it's like a young timer, cars, old timer, young timer. That's a good old young timer for you, which is for a lot of people much more desirable because you get more for the money. Right? Like a good 90s Les Paul or a Fender or whatever, Rickenbacker, whatever it is. Ooh, good stuff, man.
Yeah.
I had 2 90s Les Pauls. Both were amazingly heavy and good, both.
It happens. I think my Strat's pretty heavy for a Strat.
That's true.
It's
and
like,
that's not
it's
nice.
just like,
new.
it's fine. Final point to your question. Finally, Julia is doing great, extremely busy, but coming back very soon.
Absolutely,
I feel like that
encompasses
Julia at any time.
Yes, of course. No,
she's doing great, extremely busy, coming back at some point.
Yeah, and she loves doing this, and she will come back and shoot videos. But she's doing enough stuff for at least 3 different bass players by herself. She's a machine.
What do you think of Harambe? I'm not going to explain the law to you now.
No, you do you and
altered the timeline we're in, and that's the only explanation to why we all do the things we do today.
How to become a millionaire in the guitar industry? Start as a multimillionaire and offer a unique guitar shape.
I like that. Yeah. How to play an F chord?
Okay.
Watch the replay around the 30-minute mark to have a Kris lesson on the F chord.
Okay, it's going to be a quick one too. So if you struggle with the bar part of it, the index finger part, you can try just the lower section. So from the D string to the D, G, B, and E, and just do that part. Because then the bar is just this, the B and the E, and the rest is just single notes. And that will bring you like 80% there. And then you can, I don't know, this is something I gave to my kids in the school when I teach, to put your hand down on your lap and just go for a fast bar chord, whatever, F or B, just decide for whichever you want, and just try to put the fingers there. And they're going to be all over the place. It's going to be, this. And then just fix them. Put them back where they belong. When you feel like, okay, looks good, test it. Okay, if it's somewhat nice, doesn't have to be perfect, but somewhat nice, put your hand back and do it again. Just
that's pretty good.
Repeat this motion, and after a time, your fingers will find the spot. It's much faster than if you practice it with other chords. But start with this if you need it on the spot, like you need to be fast about it. But if you want to train the bar chord part, just put your fingers there and take your time and just figure out where they go. When they're there, test it. Okay, cool. Put it down again. Do the same thing. If you just do it a few times a day, not like an hour, just a few times, repetition is gonna bring there quite fast. It kind of worked. Hopefully it helps you.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I told them that it would, so now it kind of has to. I think it was great advice. I would absolutely agree with that. Next question: Does Bonamassa have a Thomann account? I'm not going to spell it out because it is, but it's fun. It's a fun way to spell Bonamassa.
What is Bonamassa? If he has a Thomann account. And if he had, we would never be allowed to share it. But I don't know if he has. But,
I'm not sure. No. If you want some cool Thomann account, like we have some cool people. Like,
but there's a lot of data thingies, so no one is allowed to check those. Not even us at this point. So, yeah.
But it's like
there are some crazy artists.
We both worked in sales before doing this, and we both had people on the phone be like, "What? Sorry?"
from that band?
And you need what? I'll drive it to you.
Yeah. We had like which band was it? Hammerfall. All of a sudden we had Hammerfall in the shop, and then the bassist just said like, "Hey, we wrote like emails a couple of weeks ago, and I'm here for that bass." I'm like, "Oh, it was you? Oh man, cool. Okay, let's talk bass." So yeah, there are some really cool stories there.
And Bonamassa is more of the kind to shop at Guitar Point, which are good friends of ours as well, because Thomann doesn't do any vintage gear, it's only new stuff. Yeah. And Mr. Joe has
He's a fable. He's a fable for the old stuff. Yeah.
Very respected collector.
Do you wanna do the spicy one? The top voted.
Yeah, let's go back to the top. Okay.
The top voted one before we miss it.
We've done a few answers already. That's nice. That's nice.
Not bad.
So the most upvoted question in the subreddit was, do you think it's better to support your local independent music shop by buying your instruments through them, or is it better to buy from a large online retailer? How do you feel about large online retailers, essentially Thomann, shutting down small local guitar shops like the ones we used to, the ones all of us over a certain age used to rely on at the start of our respective playing careers, through aggressive pricing strategies, free returns, etc., etc. And that is the upvote, like the most upvoted question.
Yeah, also tons of replies to that.
Yeah, there was a bunch,
sharing their experiences,
bunch of replies as well,
and thoughts, which is nice to see. Yeah.
We invite you guys to go read the whole questions, and some people have chimed in as well with a lot of funny jokes and their own personal stories through all of them. Really,
it's a really cool thread. Yeah,
I think
you wanna start, or
I'll be happy to start at least. I think at the end of the day, it's not about the shop; it's about the customer, and it's one of the rules of capitalism. It's whatever survives is whatever people gravitate towards. Thomann had good timing. It came out online and it had the right amount of stock, I'd say, for the time to become what Thomann became.
That's the thing. I don't want to interrupt too much, but that's a very important point here before we move on.
Yeah.
Thomann was the quintessential local little store in the middle of nowhere. Like it's the worst place to start a store, but they were so committed. Like Hans Thomann's, our current CEO's dad, who started it all in '54, they were just all about the customers, which were all from like surrounding villages, not even cities. There's no capital here.
We're on the way to nothing.
Yeah, it's in the middle of absolutely nothing.
This is the destination. You don't stop here on your way to cooler stuff. Like this is it, right?
And so they listened to their customers and they took care of them and didn't just sell stuff just to make money. They made them happy and made them want to come back, which then of course spread the word, and they had good timing, as you said, in the 90s.
So I think the second half was just like Thomann got to where they are because they focused on the customer. And what you describe here, like the pricing strategies, the things like, oh, okay, we're just gonna now that we made some of that money, we're gonna be able to buy thousands of that products so that we can buy it for cheaper, because that's the rule. If you buy a lot of them, you get a discount. That I feel like that's not an industry secret to anyone. And then we're going to be able to not make more money by selling it, but that to price it so that more people can purchase it. And same for the free return. Is like it's something that's been requested by people, and by
there are rules of modern a business, and if you go along with those rules and offer money back stuff and everything, customers will appreciate it. If you don't, you're gonna have a tough time. So it's not really anyone's mistake, it's what people demand. It's what people want to have. They want to have whatever they buy yesterday. If I click on it, I'm checking the second finger on my or thing on my watch, like when is it gonna be here? When is it gonna be here? It's still not here. That's how impatient we are. So if you're fast and if you care about your customers and if they have any issues, you try to solve that as fast as possible, you have a good chance of making it. And that's what Thomann was purely focusing on. And no one at Thomann is happy about other businesses going out of of business, because
we still need
competition is important, and it's all cool. It's just everyone gives their best, and Thomann just focuses on the customer experience and on the long-term experience, not just to convince you to buy something more expensive than you wanted to spend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more about like make you feel awesome when you're in the store, because Thomann still has a shop. It's not just an online store. You come in, you have a great time, you want to come back. That's how they always were, and that's how it still is. Yeah. And that's it. Oh gosh, how can you type that in quicker? It's impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I wrote down Thomann was that small shop, but through good timing and a focus on the points that were important to the customers, they became the large online retailers.
Yeah, that's pretty much the essential. They're like
success,
always focused on the customer experience and don't really, compare itself to others. That's it.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's difficult to add up to that, honestly. I want to say, like, I want to write down everything you just said.
Yeah, but then
for reference, please tune in at 39 minutes.
Honestly, I mean, yes.
For more. Okay,
Dude, we are so connecting here, social platforms.
For a more personal take on it.
Yeah.
On it, please check out the live stream
on the Thomann Guitars Bass channel.
Around
39 minutes in, or 38, I guess, or something like that.
Oh, that's kind of you to assume we only talked 1 minute about this.
Oh no.
around 39 minutes.
Oh no. Hey, come on, do the thing.
Yeah, I think I'll stop there. I want to write so much more, but I'm gonna stop there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop there. Okay. Let me just collapse the answers, otherwise I'm not gonna find where we stopped.
Dude, we're doing good. Did we answer like 10 already at least?
Oh yeah,
Maybe
mate. Oh god, yeah. The next ones are gonna be extremely long.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole lot of reading. Okay.
Maybe the answer is gonna be
like, here's a shorty.
one word answer.
Best amp modeler for the cost conscious.
Tone X.
Yeah, I think so.
It's probably not the only one, but that's the first that comes to mind. Yeah.
Tone X.
Because there's all the Tone X1,
8.
the tiny thingy. That's like, that's a lot for not a lot of money.
It's a whole lot, yeah, for sure. Tone X is hard to beat.
Yes.
Comment. Differences between similar pieces of gear to me are often only noticeable next to each other. If I were blindfolded, I couldn't tell whatever I'd be playing, a Tube Screamer or an SD1 or a Blues Driver, and the differences are still minor, even more so in a mix. However, can you as a professional recognize or evaluate and appreciate gear without context or comparison? When you play the millionth green pedal, do you instantly know how to compare it to the original or what your opinion of it is? Would you be able to say that the new green pedal company has released sounds better or even different from the original Tube Screamer if you wouldn't have an original to compare it against?
And it all comes down to experience.
Yeah, essentially it's just repetition.
Feel.
It's repetition
and the feel of the pedal.
If
it doesn't really even matter how close or far it is when you directly compare them. It's more about which makes you want to dig in harder, like not just physically harder, but like play more and enjoy yourself more and bend more and do the thing more. That's the feel of the clipping, the feel of the whole thing. If you dig in and it just becomes super nasal, then I'm out. I don't like that kind of mid-range if it's too much. G, on the other hand, is much more into that. He loves that super hunky mid-range and can play much better.
Depending on the context.
Of course,
if I'm covering a John Mayer solo.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like whenever it's a lot of mid-range, you make it sing, man, and I lose it. I don't feel inspired at all anymore. If it's too mid-humpy or too cocked wah or whatever it is, I'm like, oh, no. It's a taste thing. So if it feels right, the green pedal, then it's a really good. And if you enjoy it more than the original or another brand's take on the green pedal, then you'll just stick to this one. It's mostly really about the feel that comes with experience. If you play enough of them and you play enough long to being able to differentiate between, two kind of similar stuff. And it also comes down to your pickiness, because again, a lot of people will say like, yeah, if it's enough gain, I'm cool, whatever. And I'm the one who will start complaining about, oh, no, not enough low end, or enough low end, but too wobbly, not enough tight, or it's too scooped and I cannot hear myself as soon as the other guitar player starts playing, or too trebly and starts annoying me. So I'm like super picky, but it's not good. Like don't be me.
Yeah.
It's better if you're a bit more resistant to small differences, honestly.
Yeah.
It really is.
I wrote down repetition and feel. If you've played all of them, you have instincts when it comes to that sound, and you learn how to recognize things you like and dislike. Sometimes they'll sound the same to us too, but the more we do it, the more we feel the differences.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's difficult. It's
write a book.
Difficult exercise. I should write book summaries. Apparently that's something I'm not too bad at. However, next question. I have two Ibanez basses from the top Indonesian, I think it is Indonesia, from the last couple of years with very bad QC that need quite a bit of work. We're talking bad wiring, net pocket that needed some work, bad pickup screw design, T4 pickups being microphonic, blah blah blah. I bought one new and the other one was 6 months old. Okay, more stories about the bed. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to keep
Yeah,
it
yeah,
like,
just
somewhat
wrap
short.
it up. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the end of that question is how and where can I get Ibanez replacement parts to Spain? Apparently,
To Spain?
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently they can't ship to Spain because of certain licenses through Ibanez Minol directly. I don't understand the Shenzhen. Thank you for your time.
Shenzhen, the border agreement, you know,
Isn't that Schengen?
Schengen, I think.
This
think
one
it's
is
Schengen.
Shenzhen. I don't know if
Okay.
that's the same thing or not. Okay, I am
be a city,
super
yeah,
sorry about it.
Yeah.
If you, that's why you buy it from a large online retailer sometimes. It's because then
you're covered.
I could
Whatever
tell
is-
you,
yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
We have our customer care, we have access to manufacturer parts and our own spare part department, and we can get those.
And also have direct contact to the distributor who sells Ibanez stuff to Thomann, which is
Yeah.
Minel, here like 40 kilometers from here.
So-
Great relation, amazing distribution. So, yeah.
Unfortunately, outside of that, I wouldn't know who to contact. Like maybe then talk to a local shop where you're at, someone who stocks and distributes Ibanez in Spain locally.
Try to figure out who's the distributor for Ibanez in your country.
And they
'Cause
might
that's
be-
gonna be probably the most helpful sort of contact. Even
Yeah.
if they can't help, they can maybe tell you who they work with, what kind
Yeah.
of workshops
Yeah.
can sell you parts or maybe help fixing stuff, or just give you infos on things Ibanez. Yeah, it's tricky and it's very different in every single country. Yeah, I was really wondering during G read your comment or the question is like, is this story gonna end up being in Germany? Because I never heard anything like that.
No.
I even have like a really good friend, actually a neighbor, working. Bless you. Working at the QC for Minel, for
That's true,
Ibanez in
yeah.
Germany, and I know they love what they do and they are really good at what they're doing. That's you know, that doesn't really happen very often. And if it's a one-off and they're immediately helping you if something slips through, which is always possible, of course, but yeah,
we can't help a whole lot more than that.
try to figure out contacts for your country,
Yeah.
like distribution and companies working with them.
Did
Or
my
workshop.
father really die of bad liver, or did he just never pay his debt to the Hells Angels? Is that lyrics to a song?
I'm not aware of it, but
I need to
hope.
Google it. Regardless, the right answer is the one that does not involve the Hells Angels.
Yes.
The bad liver thing, most likely. Sorry for your loss if that is not song lyrics. I don't know what to answer. I don't want to.
Maybe,
I don't want to take
just,
responsibility.
You could answer what?
I'm just
Excuse me?
sorry for your loss. Heart.
I'm not. If it's serious, I'm not laughing right now.
No, absolutely not.
I just cannot believe that this
However,
is serious. That's why I'm.
You know, it's
Struggle.
there. It's there. We don't skip on the difficult questions here.
Yeah, okay,
We
good
tackle
point, good
everything. Should there be left-handed pedals? Wait. I'm okay. There's a lot more to that question, so let's dig it. All right. With today's guitars mainly made on CNC machines, shouldn't there be more available as left-handed?
Okay.
Okay, but now we're talking about guitars, not pedals
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
All right, whatever. Shouldn't Thomann do a shootout with loud enough amps, low wattage amps, with a hard-hitting drummer on acoustic drums to once and for all show what is loud enough really, no miking? Well, we have a similar video coming out soonish, actually. Not on tube amps, but you'll see. That'll come out soon.
True. Very soon. This week.
Completely. We're just jumping from one topic to the other here.
Yeah, we need to split this one up, dude.
My guy is everywhere. My own experience is that those loud amps choke out because they're pushed beyond their limit and they can play clean and lose all dynamics. Well, you see, you've got the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
And why isn't there any cakes doing a review? More cake for the people.
Cakes.
Well, let me start
Dude.
by saying that the cake thing is a great idea. Second.
Unless you're in Jumanji and the dude who exploded.
Yeah. Or in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Or that, yeah. In that case, no cakes, please.
Second.
Wait, Lefty pedals.
Left pedals and guitars are becoming...
what does a Lefty pedal look like?
It's the one where the volume is not on the right and or left. I don't know.
Well, then there's the harmonic monk. The first pedal I'm looking at has the volume on the left side. The second pedal I'm looking at is the Cornerstone Antique, the volume on the left side. So
maybe hear me out. Maybe it's because they want the signal chain to go from left to right instead of going from right to left.
Be my guest and develop your own brand. I will not buy it. Sorry, because it
or
will
just use
everyone.
Just use longer patch cables, and you go from output to. Whatever. I'm gonna answer that real quick. Lefty pedals and guitar are becoming more and more.
More and more what?
They're just getting easier to find in more models and shapes and colors for left-handed guitars. But
guitars, you
if
mean?
you look at
of course.
If you look at
I thought
10
we were
years,
still talking about pedals.
No. I gave up on that one.
Guitars. I do see more and more left-handed guitars, true, but it's not about how fast it is to produce them. They're exactly the same fast to be produced, but they have to have a whole line in the factory that does them, which then does not produce the right-handed one, which is going to be 99% of their sales. Yeah. So if they do that, they lose a lot of money on that. So what they do instead is probably select, I don't know, a week or a couple of days where they swap the programming in the CNCs and swap the whatever to left-handed, then produce a bunch of them, and then that's it. And then they swap back to right-handed and keep on doing a lot of right-handed. I guess that's what most factories do, unless they are huge and have all the capacities, and some parts of the factory that just don't run unless they do a couple of lefties. The problem is all the time that you invest in not making righties in the time of making lefties. You understand what I mean? It's not about the time of just producing these. It's the time they lose with not producing the righties, and time is money. So that's why you don't see a lot of lefty guitar offerings, from most brands. Have fun writing that down.
Yeah, I know. Business is for right-handed.
Whoever said time is money, it's unfortunately so true. It's, But hey, there are brands who do take lefties very seriously and make a lot of models and color options for you guys, for us guys. I'm a lefty, but I'm lucky enough to have learned it the righty way, because my dad's guitar was a righty, so it felt stupid to have the knobs up here. So I just learned it the boring way, the right way. But it's a struggle, I know.
I try to, let me start by saying that the cake thing is a great idea. Second, lefty guitars are becoming easier to find in many more colors and variations than they ever were. However, most of the business share are right-handed players, so companies go with the models that sell more.
Yeah. I mean, it's impossible to sum it all up on the production side. But
I feel like that's as short as possible.
That's the info. It's just the explanation behind it.
Oh God.
Takes forever.
You guys wrote really long comments, questions.
Choose a few short ones.
Okay.
And while you're looking for them, Paul Cook wrote, "Just turn the pedal upside down," which is your quick lefty mod.
Just have the...
Maybe use a mirror for tuning righty to lefty. Oh, that's a very different kind of confusion. Try to do stuff looking in the mirror.
Oh God.
No. I do that, like, sometimes.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Like cutting hair lines and stuff.
Actually,
like,
no, I actually don't. Like, even then, I'm just
shaving.
I'm just confused. I just do it by feel. I have my pinky on the edge there, and I'm like, if I cut myself, I went too far. But I can't look at it. If I look at it, I start going the wrong way. Yeah. No, I'm not smart. I'm not a smart person. Mirrored, even less. What is your take on fan fret basses? I'm going to extend that question to guitars and basses.
Yeah. Okay.
They're cool.
They're awesome and have their place.
They're cool and have their
There are modern styles
place.
that would not sound as great as they do without
If you
fan
want
fret.
to tune extra dropped without playing
Stability, tuning stability, or whatever.
yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. Sorry, I just keep on talking with the other people here.
Yeah.
G. I'll let you suffer. Frankie Boy says, and I do agree. Seriously though, if I was a lefty, I'd buy right-handed guitars and do the Hendrix thing. It even looks way cooler, if you ask me. Honestly, it's exactly what I would do, I think. But there are guitar models that just don't really work that well. Like even on a Strat, you'll have all the knobs and the jack and everything in the wrong place. But I don't know why. It's probably because of Jimmy. It's just awesome. So I'd just do that. But like on a Les Paul or like a modern, I don't know, Super Strat, it's kind of weird. But you know, on a V, on a Strat, maybe even on a Tele. No, on a Strat though. Yeah, I would rock a righty upside down. You good?
Yeah, there's a lot more questions.
proud.
I think that was a great answer. I do like the upside down thing for most shapes. It works really well.
Actually, for just a few weak moments, I once almost bought a Lefty Strat.
Oh, just to play it righty.
Just to strum it the right way. RJ. RJ has one of those.
Yeah.
But then I felt like I might trigger certain people in a very wrong way. Like lefties starting hating on me for posing and whatever. Like, hey, you're not a lefty. Don't make fun of us.
It's not making fun. It just looks cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. I just find it really damn
you have
cool.
to be so bitter about everything, lefties?
It's not about it. Hey,
why do you have to be the way you are?
No,
come on, man.
I felt like no, it's not necessary. But I do love an upside down guitar for sure. Yeah.
Some more questions. The Jerry Cantrell was a part of.
You played that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't.
The Jerry Cantrell was a part of.
You played that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
guitars.
was good.
I absolutely loved them.
Okay. He has a weak spot for.
I have a very weak spot for
wine red
Les Pauls. Yeah, 100%. That one was really good. I can't speak for all of them, but as of late, the quality, like QC check on Epiphone guitars,
whenever we unbox,
really good.
yeah. Whenever we unbox, it's like okay, let's shoot a video. No need for setups.
Yeah. Sure. It's been years. Epiphone's really up their game, so I would go blindly
100%,
in that. And a good T on the 900. Go.
Under 900. This guy or Sire, the two ones we have here in the studio. Where's yours? You put it down. The Larry Carlton T, whichever, 357. I think this is the T7. Or this one, the T62 Harley Benton. There are some really good options for like not a lot of money. Definitely worth checking those out. You have different pickups and different neck shapes, but most of them will be in the ballpark of each other, like kind of similar with just minor differences here and there, and they're great. They're great. The only issue is with like other brands doing famous shapes is that if you then buy an original replacement part, such as a pickguard or bridge, they're most probably not fit. That's the only issue. So if you're into modding and stuff, you better be careful or be prepared to mod a lot, like fill in holes and stuff. But
what did you say about the Larry Carlton? Is it T6?
That's the T7. Yeah. No, 7.
Oh, 7. Sorry, my bad. It's 5, 7, and 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3, 5, 7, maybe 9 as well. 9. If there's a 9, then it's gonna be like a flashy flame top or something.
Yeah.
Which looks cool, but if you're looking for like a solid color finish, the T7 is amazing.
Awesome. What is the best power amp and cap solution to use with a modular like Thomann HX amp, Nano Cortex for bedroom players and home players? Studio monitors, FR power amp, real cab, FX loop, a guitar amp. That's a really good question.
What's your take on it?
I'll just drop the link to the video that we made exactly about that subject and compared absolutely everything.
Wait, I have a quicker answer because we did that to monitor yourself if you're using a modular. For at home, studio monitors, full stop. Every single day, whenever, it's always studio monitors that will sound most natural, most real. That's what you listen through. If you mic your stuff and want to record something, it's the most realistic way of hearing whatever you plug into it. Whether it's an aux box, like a cab simulation, or like a full modular, a good, simple, even a simple studio monitor is just gonna sound more natural and more like character-free. You know what I mean? Like we'll not really have an own character unless it's not a great one. So yeah, those.
Can you say something honest about stock instruments that are bad and have consistent issues? This would make the puff reviews feel like they have more value in the presence of balance.
Ooh, in the presence of balance. Sounds like a quote from a Star Wars movie.
I kind of get what you mean. And there
puff
were times.
What is a puff review?
Well, you know, oh, this is such a great instrument.
Like a hypey over excited.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think like every brand that we've played, or at least most of them, have had their times. Like a lot of manufacturers, when going to like mostly export versions, they'll start working with manufacturer in Indonesia or in China or wherever. And it's going to take a little bit of time to work out the quirks and work out the bugs. So sometimes in that time frame, you're going to have instruments that will either be recalled by the manufacturer or just like they'll come out and people are going to be like, well, no, this is like even at that price, this is not what I want. And then the brand takes in that feedback and sure, at your scale, it's like, oh, QC is horrible, it's a bad brand. But at their scale, it's like, oh, it's the first batch of that first production in that company that we're trying to, like maybe 6 months from then, they'll have changed both the manufacturers, the place they do the QC at, who they use for export, who they... honestly, I could say something bad about Fender. I could say something bad about Gibson, about Epiphone, about Harley Benton, like 10 years ago. I could say something about, you know, and
every brand has to go through all these steps to find a chain of production until it gets into your hand or into a retailer warehouse, and there's some trial and errors there. But at this point.
Nowadays,
for at least 10 years now,
there's nothing that really comes to mind.
I really struggle to name anything or even just think about a brand that's consistently causing issues on any level. It's because the thing is that with offering money back, and not just Thomann, but anywhere you go nowadays, you can't just send stuff back if it doesn't work or just don't like it. So no one can get away with not offering proper products. That's the pro. Like we've talked about this, like it's small shops and the old school way of doing business is kind of changing for sure, but that is definitely good for the customers and the consumers because you like they cannot hide stuff anymore. They cannot get away with not awesome stuff because you can get something else somewhere else really quickly. So everyone's trying, they're working their butts off to provide the best possible experience for whatever money you pay.
Every brand has had ups and downs, but for the last 10 years or so, we haven't noticed a real trend of bad QC for any specific maker. Times are changing and means of production just keep getting better, which is great.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there are, issues.
There are lemons.
And if you get a lemon, I'm so sorry. And if you bought it from Thomann,
send it back.
You don't have to worry about it too much. But that's the thing. It's like no tendencies of like worrying directions with any brands. We're gonna have to clock out. It's 3 minutes past 5 and I need to go home. However, there was just one that says favorite guitar pedal, so I just answered Cas Leather Toxic Twins. Oh, dude!
I knew that I had to do it. Kris couldn't do it himself. Oh no, unable to create comment. Why?
Ooh.
Did I?
Reddit doesn't like that.
Oh, okay, no, we're good. Reddit disliked the Toxic Twins. No, it's legit a great pedal. I can say it, he can't. So there we go. All right.
I play it too much. I don't.
There's honestly still like 150,000 comments.
Yeah. So the thing is, I will do this. Don't worry about it, Mr. YouTube Manager. You have other things to worry about. I will, in the next couple of days, I will go back to this, log in again, and answer as much as I can. I'll ask G for his opinion. Of course, it's not just going to be me. Don't worry about it.
And I probably will just say yes to whatever he sends me.
Maybe or not. Depends on what I'm saying. But we'll try to go through all of it. And and this has been fun, dude.
That was so fun.
That was awesome.
Hey, Reddit is actually awesome. Yeah. We're just going to be on Reddit now.
I just hope we catch more of these comments in live chat. But
Well,
It's awesome.
You guys know we love you, right? We tell you every week.
It's the best thing ever. It's so nice to tune this way, not this way. You know, your wrist is just super smooth, and also I just love the way I don't have the tuning pegs here or the twisties.
I can understand.
I love it.
I don't feel a problem with it, but
no,
I
it's not. There's no problem with it. I just love it. I prefer that.
You're a lot pickier than I am. Finally, and before we say goodbye soon, Frankie Bo was also asking about how we can announce the Reddit thing in the future. You didn't know about it. That's fair enough. We still have to work out the quirks on this one. The live stream has been public with a big Reddit logo on the thumbnail and the link to the Reddit post in the description.
Since Friday.
What do you? Yeah, since Friday.
And I posted a community post, which is like one of
post.
those pictures, whatever, with some writings on top.
But we
caption.
know that those, like a lot of you guys are kind of oblivious to that because there are different feed. And a lot of people don't check that, which understandably I don't either.
I do, but I know that YouTube changes the experience for every single person, and it's sometimes really tough to reach your audience.
So in the comments, if you've watched this far and you really want to see the Reddit thing again, happily. Yeah. However, do let us know in the comments under this live stream how you would like it to be advertised. If there's any other way, like does Instagram make more sense? Do you also follow Thomann on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, or I don't know. Let us know in the comments. We're just gonna do it. In the meantime, here's another blues.
Oh, you want to blues this out?
Yeah, in B. Were we in B?
The first one was more like a CE thing, ended on a G.
Oh, true. That's what we were playing before.
Yeah,
let's do the blues in B.
Let's make everyone go sleep.
Thank you very, very much, and we love you, and we'll see you in the next live stream.
Absolutely,
which is going to be soon.